Welcome to the EWF Bootcamp day number 12, Fibonacci. Many traders are familiar with the Fibonacci ratio, especially the Fibonacci retracement. At EWF, we use Fibonacci in combination with Elliott Wave to determine the entry level, target profit, and stop loss. In day number 12, we will take a look at how EWF uses Fibonacci. First, a brief introduction about the Fibonacci. The Fibonacci number, as we know it, was introduced by Leonardo Fibonacci, and he is a 13th century accountant. Fibonacci number is actually a series of numbers by adding the previous two numbers, and this is the famous Fibonacci summation series, starting with the 0 and 1. And we keep adding the previous two numbers to come up with the next number in the series. So in this case, we add 0 and 1 to come up with 1. And then we add 1 and 1 to come up with 2. Adding 1 and 2, we come up with 3. Adding 2 and 3, we come up with 5, and so on. So we keep adding the previous two numbers to come up with the next number in the Fibonacci series. And that is the pattern here by adding the previous two numbers. Now, the summation series, the series itself is not what we are interested at. What we are interested at is the ratio. And we will take a look at the ratio next. The Fibonacci ratios somehow appear in the nature everywhere, as well as in the financial market. So they often indicate, the ratio often indicates levels at which strong resistance or support will be found. And this is how we come up with the Fibonacci ratio. If you make a table where you put down all the Fibonacci number at the top here as your numerator, okay? So this is the Fibonacci series that we looked at earlier, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on. And then right here in the denominator, in the ratio, you also put down the same series of number, the Fibonacci number, 1, 2, 3, 5, and so on. Now, you make a table where you divide one Fibonacci number with another Fibonacci number. That's how you come up with the Fibonacci ratio, which we are interested at. Now, some of the popular Fibonacci ratio, for example, the most popular one has to be 1.618. which is often called the golden ratio. As you can see, when you look at it diagonally, this will be the 1.618 this way. You look at it in a diagonal way here. And how does this ratio derive? The ratio is derived by dividing any Fibonacci number with the previous Fibonacci number. So if you divide 21 by the previous Fibonacci number in the series, which is 13, right? So 13, this is the denominator, this is the numerator, so you divide 21 by 13, you come up with 1.618 approximately. You divide 34 by 21, which is the previous number, then you will get 1.618, and so on. So any ratio here in the table is derived by dividing a Fibonacci number by another Fibonacci number. Now, the most important ratios that we are interested at for extension. So we have two different types of Fibonacci ratios here. One is the extension, Fibonacci extension, and another one is Fibonacci retracement. A lot of traders is already familiar with the Fibonacci retracement, but extension also is very important because we use the Fibonacci extension a lot at EWF to measure some sort of target here. Okay, so in the Fibonacci extension, you will need two swings, okay, and you want to measure the third swing target here. And the most important ratio for the Fibonacci extension is 100% and 123.6%, right? So these two numbers here between 100% and 123.6% is what we call equal leg area. Usually in our charts, we show it in a blue box. Okay, and then the 161.8% also is very important. This is usually what we use it as a stop loss. So in other words, for extension, the most important level will be 100%, 123.6%, and 161.8%. Three levels here, the most important levels. And then in the retracement side, this, I think a lot of people are already familiar with this. The most important levels for us at EWF will be 61.8% and 76.4%. There's another percentage that is not Fibonacci, but we also look at it, which is 50%. So the three percentages that we use a lot in EWF is 50%, 61.8%, and 76.4%. So three levels each in the extension: 100, 123.6, 161.8. In the retracement, 50, 61.8, and 76.4% are the most important levels. Now here's the difference between Fibonacci extension and Fibonacci retracement. Fibonacci extension purpose is to measure a profit target, or just a target, okay? A target in a three swing move when the first and the second swing have been identified. Okay, and then 100 to 123.6% is typical target for the third swing, often referred to as equal leg area. So the key here is this one, when the first and the second swing have been identified. I think that's the key statement. When the first and the second swing have been identified, EWF chart always will show Fibonacci extension. So let's take a look at an example here. Let's take a look at SPX as an example. Now you can see right here, this blue box here, you can see 1 and 1.236. This is what we talked about earlier, 100% and 123.6%. So how does this box or area calculated? How is it calculated? It is from here we can see 1, 2, 3 swing move, okay, and then we trying to calculate, or we are trying to measure the target from the third swing. That is always going to be equal leg or 100% area, the equal leg area here. So this blue box here, in other words, is a extension area, Fibonacci extension. From here, from this peak, we have 1, 2, and 3. The first and the second swing have been identified. This is the first swing, this is the second swing. So if it has been identified, then we can easily measure the next, the target from the third swing, which is the 100%. All right. Now the Fibonacci retracement purpose, on the other hand, is to measure correction target. Okay, and usually, again, like we said, 50%, 61.8%, and 76.4% on the three levels that we look at. And this area is a typical retracement target of the previous swing. Okay, so EWF chart always show Fibonacci extension area when the first and the second swing have been identified. So this is the key here. When the first and second swing have been identified, we will always use the Fibonacci extension, which by default is what we use. But then when the first and the second swing have not been developed, so have not been identified, sometimes we will show retracement area to give members some approximate idea. So let's take a look at an example. Again, this is a chart, daily chart of silver, and this is showing the Fibonacci extension. Let's take a look here. Here's the silver chart. Now you can see, when you see this is 1 and 1.236, that tells you this is Fibonacci extension. This has to be 100% and 123.6%. So you should look at the chart and try to figure out this is 100% of what. Now if you look at it from the chart here, you can see that it has to be 100% of a three swing move, simply put. So from here, this means you need to do it this way. Now you might not get used to it yet, but this is the way you should look at the chart. You know that, okay, this is a three swing move. Of course, there is an internal subdivision here. If you want to count the internal, it will become a 7 swing. But if you don't count the internal, okay, then this is sort of like a 3 swing move, and this is the 100% area. So in other words, this is going to be equal to this at this target. So we use again the extension, Fibonacci extension, to give us an idea of the target of this move to the downside. Whenever you see a sequence of lower low, in this case it keeps making new low, you want to keep pushing it until you can see a 3 swings 100% target reach here. In this case, we will keep pushing silver to the downside until it reach around $15 right here. Okay, so again here we see how we come up with the 100%, and then our charts always show the Fibonacci extension when the first and the second swing have been identified. So in this case, this has been identified, this has been identified. Then if you have the starting point and you have the first and second swing, then you can always measure yourself, okay, how to measure the third swing to reach the equal leg here. Okay, and here is an example of Fibonacci retracement at EWF charts. You can see this is a 50% and 76.4% retracement area. So you know that this is not Fibonacci extension, but rather this is Fibonacci retracement. But why are we showing Fibonacci retracement instead of Fibonacci extension? That's what we are going to talk about next. Let me show you. This is the same chart, the Euro Pound daily chart. Okay, so why are we showing Fibonacci retracement area here? And the reason is because the first and the second swing have not been identified. Now you can notice here, this chart here is saying that we are correcting this cycle, right? So we have a W, which means this entire rally is the first leg, and then now doing the second leg. And then once the second leg is done, we will do the third leg to the upside, right? So the first swing or the first leg is done, and then you do not need to look at the internal here, but that's how you should interpret the chart. And you have one big leg, and then now it's correcting this entire rally now in this with X pullback before the next leg higher. Now you notice here that ideally you want to show Fibonacci extension area. But you can see that the pullback so far only is showing one leg, and this second leg has not been fully formed yet. So it's not yet identified, and therefore we cannot measure the third swing to equal leg because this is not yet done. So we cannot know exactly what is the 100% area, 100% level, because we need to wait until this X is done so we can measure 3 swings to the downside to equal leg. And that will be, we will update the chart as the X here is fully formed and starts to do the next leg to the downside. Then the blue box will be changed. Instead of using the retracement, we will use the extension, that is using this from here, and then measure it this way and come up with the 100% area, okay, using the Fibonacci extension. But before that happens, before the second leg is fully formed, we use this Fibonacci retracement to give members an idea of how deep this pullback can end. So this way members have an idea, alright, so we are expecting another leg lower, so approximately what kind of level is going to end. So we use the Fibonacci retracement that is correcting the previous cycle. So the cycle that is being corrected is this cycle here. So we use the 50% and 76.4% retracement of this entire rally. So this area here is going to be in the approximate area where this 3 swings pullback is going to end, and then the pair can then start the next leg higher. So that's how we use it, the Fibonacci retracement and Fibonacci extension in our charts. The most important levels, or the most important thing in fact, is the Fibonacci extension. That will be the key for stop loss, for entry level, as well as for target, right? But the retracement, we use it only when the first and the second swing have not been developed. Then we use the retracement area until it becomes fully developed. Then we switch and change it to a Fibonacci extension to get a better target areas, a more precise areas where we can expect this X in red, in this case, to finish. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that this helps you to understand what is the difference between Fibonacci retracement and extension and how we use it in EWF. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all again next time.